Coming up on The Whitney Reynolds Show. Fashion designer and entrepreneur Kendra Scott has developed a name for herself as a successful businesswoman, appearing at the top of Forbes' list and gaining recognition by other media outlets along the way. This journey, though, has not always been an easy one, and she opens up about it in her new book, Born to Shine.
It's not just about the successes, but a lot about the failures too, because I really talk a lot about failing forward. That sometimes you need these missteps, these failures, these bumps along the road that help you get to the place where you're going next. And that information that you learn during those times is what is the bridge to get you to the next place you're going. So I felt like it was so important to share those things, but also just show by having an optimistic view on life is really the way to live a life of happiness. You know, and I started to think, okay, I want to do this book in 2020. The world was like a disaster, right? I, as a CEO, had to temporarily close over 100 store locations. My father, who has been like my #1 supporter, biggest fan, had 2 major heart attacks and almost died, and I was caring for him. And I was going through a divorce, and I had some personal health issues. And it was just like I'd wake up and be like, it can't get any worse. But I started to realize that the world thought I was on top of my game. I was on Forbes' list of the richest self-made women. I mean, from the outside, it was like the star, entrepreneur, billion-dollar brand. But on the inside, I was struggling. And I thought, God, how many people are out there putting on their shiny, happy faces on Instagram or wherever, but inside might be really hurting? And if I could share that, if I could be vulnerable, maybe others could feel like they could be vulnerable too. And understand that we're all human. Yes. We're all human beings, and that the struggle is part of what makes us us.
Being vulnerable about her path to success, she hopes that her story can bring out the best in everyone, something she witnessed firsthand when she was approached by someone from her childhood.
I went back to my hometown in Kenosha, Wisconsin, right before I came to Chicago. And I wanted to go back to kind of where it all started. We had a sold out event, and you won't believe it, but in the chapter Stickster, the bully who actually beat me up in the Pizza Hut parking lot came to the event, and she came to apologize. And she said when she read the chapter, she knew it was her, and that her daughter and her talked about it, and she said, Mom, you've got to go. And she came and apologized. We had this amazing moment. Of course, I forgave her. We hugged and embraced. You've got to be able to forgive. And once you're able to do that, it's like this peace comes over you. And I think all of us in our lives are looking for that peace. If there's one thing we all want, that's it, is a peaceful self, a peaceful well-being. And forgiveness is a path to that for sure.
This and more coming up on our new season of The Whitney Reynolds Show.